The first story that I read was called Moving Beyond the Stereotypes. It was about a black male nurse who had a white male patient, and he was under the assumption that the patient did not want to be treated by him. Simply because every time he said he'd come into the room to give the patient medication or check his vitals or anything like that, the patient would just stare at him without saying a word. So finally he asked the patient, do you have something to say to me, or is there something on your mind, etc., etc. And the patient went on to explain to him that his own son had died at the age of 18. He wanted to become a male nurse as well, and he kind of reminded him of that. The nurse was under the assumption that just because the patient seemed uncomfortable, if you will, every time he came in, that it was because he was not only black, but he was a nurse. So that was the first story. The second story that I read was called A Good Neighborhood. This is where a white man moved into what some would consider a lower class neighborhood. When he told his friends and coworkers and everyone where he was moving, they made statements like, "Are you sure you want to go there? I heard it's not safe. The crime is really high. That's a bad neighborhood," so on and so forth. The man in the story started having second thoughts, but then decided to move into the neighborhood anyway. However, what he found was total opposite. Yes, they had a little bit of crime, but no more in that area than anywhere else in that city. Also, he realized that the neighbors were a little bit nicer. They looked out for each other. Just a number of different things that most people wouldn't consider when you're moving into what they would call a bad neighborhood. So that one reminded me of what we would call discrimination. Everybody just assumed, or basically even stereotyped, that because of where the neighborhood was located, that everybody would be bad neighbors, hoodlums, thugs, robbers, murderers, whatever the case may be.